So ever since I was a little kid, I've always been very achievement oriented, and awards and performance and winning were always part of my makeup. And so when I became an adult, that just was naturally part of my DNA, so to speak. And um, my identity really, I wouldn't say it was totally wrapped up in, but there was more there than I realized in terms of the importance being surrounded by what title I had or how much I accomplished. I was training for a Ragnar in New Hampshire, and it was around mile 6 that I started noticing things weren't working as well as they used to. And that was one of the clues that got me into the doctor to look at my joints. And that's actually how I got diagnosed with rheumatoid disease, because they started doing MRIs of my joints. All of those things that I thought made me me and gave me worth were taken away from me, not in a vengeful, vindictive kind of way, it's just the way that life happened. And I was really left in a place of emptiness and kind of despair and loneliness and lots of negative adjectives you can think of. But it really made me just question my faith and where I was going and who God was and who was I now, that like the rest of my life, my plan for my life wasn't gonna, the way I wanted it to happen wasn't gonna happen anymore the way that I thought it would be. It was that time of undoing that got me to a place where God could really get a hold of my heart and change the things that he needed to change, particularly with my identity and my self-worth and all of those things that I thought made me important. And when those are gone, you have to really find out who you are at the core and where your identity was. And for me, I had to rebuild that in Christ. You know, the more I started working on furniture and just experimenting with stuff, I was like, I love this. It was like something had been dormant inside of me for a long time, and it was just awakened, and the right side of my brain turned on, right? And one piece of furniture turned into 2, it turned into 3, and started selling them on Craigslist. And I'm like, gosh, I could really do this. And it brought a lot of joy to me in a time that I really needed to get out of a hole, get out of a really dark place in my life. God changed my heart, really. And I can honestly say that, like, if I could return to the corporate world right now, I wouldn't, because that's just, there's the appeal is gone. The things that are important to me now are way different than they were before. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm proud of that now. I was scared of it before. And I work out of my home now. And I really, what I love about what I do is that it's such a perfect picture analogy of what God did in my life. I refinish furniture. I take things that are ugly and discarded and tossed and have lost, it's their identity. They're no longer on a bright showroom floor, and they've been used and torn up, and I strip it away, sand it, and then bring it back to life. I revive it. And that's exactly what kind of happened in my life, that things were stripped away from me, but that gave God the opportunity to really make me into who he really wanted me to be. And what I love about what I'm doing now is it allows me to be home with my son and my family and have those priorities in check, but it's immensely therapeutic. And when you have a chronic illness, and you fight fatigue and doctor's appointments and illness, and you just you don't know what your life is going to be like day to day. It could be a really bad pain day and you're going to be in bed all day, or you could be fine and out and about. And what Revive has allowed me to do is have a business that is flexible, and it gives me that therapeutic outlet, that artistic outlet. And it gives me a little bit of purpose to know that I'm creating beauty in the world. I really find joy, and I feel like it's God's calling to help others find that in themselves, especially people who are going through a tough time that may have a chronic illness too, or are sick or going through whatever. We all have our stuff, right? And finding an outlet that helps them bring joy, a little bit of joy back into their lives through the arts.